Hello everyone. Today is Monday, April 16th, and today we're going to talk about needles. Now, I have a couple of needles that are my absolute favorites, and I'm going to show you my favorite sewing machine needles as well as my favorite hand sewing needles.
Now our first kind of needle is a sewing machine needle. A sewing machine needle has a top that looks like this. It's mostly circular except it has a flat side. Then down at the bottom it has an eye for the thread to go through. Now in my house we really only deal with two kinds of sewing machines, needles. They're both Schmetz. Because I'm kind of a snob with sewing machine needles, I found that Schmetz work really, really well. And the first kind is the Sharps. I like the Sharps. They make smaller holes. They push through fabric better. And this is the just basic needle I use in my machine. I just find it works really well and I like it. Now for heavier fabrics that I can't use on that one, I have jean or denim needles. I do have a few other specialty needles. I have some double needles. I have some like these. These are ballpoint needles. But those are really for specialty projects, and I find I don't use them most often. I really like the sharp needles from Schmetz. Next, hand sewing needles. I find that I really use only two kinds of hand sewing needles as well. I like beading needles because they're really long and thin, and they have a pretty good eye to get some of the thicker threads through. And I find that I can do a lot of stuff that I need a long needle for with a beading needle. Plus the fact that they're thin means that they make a smaller hole in my fabric so it doesn't have as much trauma. Now the other kind of needle I like to use is a longer, again very, very thin quilting needle. These needles tend to be rather short, which is why I use a long one. This is about the longest as they come, which is, you can see, about the size of my thumb. So they don't come very long at all, but they're ultra sharp. They have very small eyes. I don't know if you guys can see that very small eye on there. But they are good for things like hemming and doing other hand finishing work. So that's what I use quilting needles for.
So that was my favorite needles. I hope you learned something, and I hope you can find a favorite needle one of these days, because that means you'll enjoy hand sewing a whole lot more. Thank you, and stay tuned for tomorrow when we explore O.